Hey everyone, how's it going? And welcome back to another episode of Saturday Night Horror. Now tonight I'm excited because tonight we're going to be watching a movie I've never seen before. This movie, one of my friends up here on YouTube by the name of The New 80s Revolution has said many times over that this is one of his favorite horror movies. So I'm looking forward to watching it. Tonight we're going to be watching The Gate. Now The Gate was released in 1987. And it's 80s horror, which I've already got high expectations for it. I love 80s horror. And for whatever reason, I just have never watched it. So tonight we're going to rectify that. Now, The Gate is about two kids that they end up finding a gate to the demon world in one of the kids' backyard. It's so weird, man. It's like there's a hole in their backyard and it leads to the realm of demons from what I've been reading. So, interesting concept. I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out. But yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Like I said, it's going to be my first time seeing it. As far as cooking goes, cooking has been pretty much reduced to frozen food, frozen meals, frozen appetizers. I don't know what it's like in your areas, but here people panic buy everything. And once they wipe the shelves clean, the stuff that they didn't care about before, they panic buy that because it's all that's left. So hey, that shelf is full. Let's panic buy all that. So there's nothing there. Go figure. So anyway, tonight, The Gate. As for cooking, we're having some frozen hors d'oeuvres, some egg rolls, stuff like that. So let's go out to the kitchen. Let's get our food. Let's get a drink, and let's watch The Gate. I'll see you out there. Alright, so here's dinner. Got some pizza rolls, egg rolls, pigs in a blanket. I mean, really, that's what it's come down to, frozen food. So yeah, that's dinner. Now we got our food. Let's go in the fridge, and let's get something to drink. Let's see what we've got.
Never there was fun, there's always Coca-Cola, yeah.
Alright, let's go out front. Let's watch The Gate. Alright, here we are. Let's turn this last light off. Alright, all the lights in the house are off. It's time to watch The Gate. We got our food, got our drink, got what I'm hoping is a good movie. Should be a fun night, man. Definitely looking forward to it. Definitely should be a fun night. Alright, and here's Shadow Cat. She jumped in my lap. And I don't think she likes the light, so we're gonna turn the camera off. She doesn't like the light. Alright, The Gate is over, and I'll be honest, I enjoyed it. It definitely wasn't, I wouldn't call it a true horror movie. There really wasn't anything scary per se about it, but I had fun with it. It was a fun little horror movie. I would definitely watch it again. Yeah, like I said, 80s horror, I love it. And this is no exception. The thing I like about 80s horror is, the environments, the locations, the cities, the houses, the music, the clothing, everything about the 80s. I love it. And seeing all that stuff in this movie, all the 80s, the 80s architecture, the 80s style, the 80s locations, I loved it. So that definitely had it going for it. This movie was kind of a slow build, like most horror movies are. We don't see our first demon until 46 minutes into the movie. But once the action starts, once you see that first demon, it doesn't stop until the end. So, I mean, from 46 minutes on until the hour 25, hour 27 minute, lots of action, plenty of demons. And speaking of the demons, they're not really scary, I hate to say. They're actually more like little imps. They're about ankle height. So, I mean, I don't know how many there were. There were a ton of them. There's little ankle height demons. And the effects for the demons were actually pretty good, man. I was surprised. For 1987, the special effects on the demons were really good. Practical effects always went out. The little demons, they were what we see first. And then we get a full-size zombie, which when it falls down and when it's put to rest, it breaks apart into the little demons that we saw before. Near the end of the movie, we see the huge demon, the huge monster, and I thought it looked really cool. Usually, when we do these demons from these 80s horror movies, a lot of them look really corny. This one looked pretty badass, man. They had stop motion filming when they were doing the demons. You could tell, like, when the big demon was moving, they used stop motion. Now, usually when you use stop motion for these monster movies, it's really, really bad. It's really cheesy. And credit where credit is due, that wasn't the case with The Gate. You can tell it was stop motion, but it wasn't as blatantly obvious as it is in other horror movies, so I really appreciated that. And like I said, just the look of the big demon at the end was awesome. The little demons weren't really scary. The zombie was but the big demon made up for it in the end. And I like how other effects they had going on, even simple things like their telephone. The demons called them from their own telephone. The telephone melted into the wall, which was a really cool looking visual. The family photos started changing near the end of the movie. You look at the family photo and everyone was dead and bloodied. I thought that was a pretty cool touch there. Excuse me. Now, I said the effects for the most part were pretty good in this movie. They did have some ridiculous scenes, but this was 1987, so you have to keep that in mind. But for the most part, like I said, the practical effects were awesome. The stop motion was a lot better than it is in other horror movies. We do have a scene where one of the boys actually falls down the hole, and a bunch of the little we'll call them imps, man. I can't even call them demons. The little imps find him, and they start biting his legs, biting his neck. So that was pretty funny to see. Pretty funny visual there. There was another scene where all the little imps have surrounded a girl, and for some reason she doesn't realize that she's surrounded by all these imps. And I'm thinking, there's always that one person in the cast, that one character that's completely clueless. And we got her. She did not realize she was surrounded by imps. Everyone else did. They told her to run back in the house. And she runs back in the house and still doesn't realize that she's being chased by a tribe of imps. So yeah, pretty much a dumb moment right there. The movie itself, if you're not into gore, you have nothing to worry about with this movie. It wasn't gory at all. Like I said, the imps bite people, but there's no blood. Even the last demon, there's really no blood in this movie except the very end. I'm not going to say what happens, but the boy, stabs himself in the arm, or in the hand, excuse me. And it's not a whole lot of blood when he does it either, so that's the only blood I can remember seeing. So not gory at all. Like I said, the movie was not scary, but it was fun. I had a good time watching it, and I will say that I think this movie was made in the right decade. And the reason I say that is because the movie as it goes, as you watch it, it makes sense that it was done in the 80s. Like, where it's not real scary, but it's just fun. If it were made, let's say now, it would be a bloodbath. It wouldn't be, honestly, I don't think I'd enjoy it if it was made now, if it was remade now, because I can see it being made into a total bloodbath. All the fun would be sucked out of it. So it was definitely made in the right decade. But the bottom line is, The Gate, I don't know why it took me so long to watch this movie, but I'm glad I finally watched it. It's definitely going to stay in my collection permanently. It's definitely a movie I'll go back and watch again. This was one of those rare horror movies where I didn't find myself wishing that the entire cast would be killed brutally. I actually really didn't have a problem with the cast. They were actually people you could root for, people that you hope survive the ordeal, people that you can get behind, which really surprised me because that's rare. Usually when I watch horror movies, I cannot wait for the cast to be killed off in the most painful, horrific ways imaginable. But I actually wanted everyone in this cast to survive, so that's very, very rare for me watching a horror movie. So, final verdict, The Gate was awesome, fun movie. Like I said, if you don't have to worry about gore watching this movie, if you just want to see a fun 80s horror movie, that's not, real bloody, real gory, anything like that, definitely give The Gate a watch. I think you'll enjoy it. I know I did. So, with that being said, that's it for The Gate. Next week, man, I am ready for next week, y'all. Next week, we're going to be watching the Fear Footage 2 Curse of the Tape. Y'all don't know how hard it's going to be for me to not watch this until next Saturday night. But I'm going to do it. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to even take it out of the case until next Saturday night. Now, the first Fear Footage movie scared the living hell out of me. I cannot wait to see part 2. So with that being said, that is going to conclude this week's episode of Saturday Night Horror. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Definitely check out The Gate if you have not already. Don't be like me and just, kind of push it to the side, brush it off. It's worth your time. So that being said, everyone, hope y'all enjoyed the episode. I appreciate y'all watching. Be safe out there. This will all come to an end eventually. We'll get back to normal somehow, some way. And I will see you on the next episode of Saturday Night Horror. Y'all have an awesome weekend. Y'all take care.